y'all know, I like doing a lot of long distance endurance touring, and I got a couple of big things coming up on the horizon. Got my threw my hat in the ring for the Iron Bud Rally next year. I've also got my hat in the ring for the Hoka Hey the year after that. Although I am on the standby list for this year, and I've just recently been notified I've moved up to number 4 on the standby list, so there's a chance it might actually happen. Now, in my probably kind of biased opinion, these are the two best long distance touring mounts that Harley makes: Road Glide and the Pan America. I thought about it, and I decided the best way to figure out which one would be best for running Iron Bud stuff would be go out and run an Iron Bud with each one of them. So that's what I did. I ran a Saddle Sore 1000 with each bike. Then I sat down and thought about how they did on it. Made my decision. Now, the first one I did was the Pan America. I went and did a Polar Bear Saddle Sore 1000. What the Polar Bear Saddle Sore is, that just means that you either started or finished on the first of the year. It's not too terrible for us down here in Florida, but for the folks up north, they kind of earn that Polar Bear moniker. This thing's tried and true. I've been running it a while. I've had pretty good luck with it. I've had a couple of weird electrical irregularities, but for the most part it works good. Kind of had something new happen on the last run I did though. The temperature dipped down to, I think it was 34 degrees, and all of a sudden I got a snowflake warning on it. That was a new one. I've never seen a snowflake warning on my dash before, but it popped up. Not sure if that's because it was actually 34 degrees and raining out there, or because I was singing some improper music while I was tooling along in the middle of the night. But either way, I didn't have any troubles with the bike at all, like I usually don't. There's an electrical update of the PCM reflash that's coming up here shortly, and I'm going to have the recall on the rails done, and the bar risers that I ordered like 6 months ago have finally come in, so I'm going to have them toss those on while they're doing the other stuff there. And other than that, the bike's been running great. This thing is definitely a contender. When you wind up in the weird truck stops and the weird spots and you get boxed in because people pull up to the pump all kind of stupid and crazy and stuff, this bike is really easy to hand move and pedal backwards and stuff like that to get it out of them spots. I really appreciate that. The only downside on this bike that I noticed, and I still notice, is when you're in the deep gravel parking lots, this thing gets kind of squirrely. It might have something to do with the street tires I got on it, or it might be just because this thing is really top heavy. Only downside on this bike for something like that is total and complete lack of luggage. Well, at this point, it's been half a year, they still ain't available, so I went ahead and ordered a different set. I ordered the Villain to Hero complete set. I got those in, and after they finish doing the 20,000 mile service on the bike, I'm going to go ahead and stick those on here. When I get those on here, I'll let you know what I think. Also tossing on an Australian radiator guard that popped up, and going to go with a slightly taller windshield, see if that gives me a little better air pocket to work in when I'm cruising down the interstate. I'll be slapping all that on, and I'll let you know how it goes. But overall, it's a really solid bike. It's had a little weird electrical stuff happen from time to time, and as soon as it came back from the last reflash to solve the no-start problem, of course the following day it immediately had a no-start problem. But funny enough, in the months since then, that hadn't happened again. Guess the thing was just trying to keep me on my toes. Kind of leaving this on it for now. That's not a firm decision. I ain't decided exactly one way or the other, but that was just kind of one of those Halloween things. I put it on there As my wife mentioned that we didn't do nothing for Halloween and everybody spent more money than we did, so I slapped a little electrical tape on it, stuck it in the front yard, and from there we got the most expensive Halloween decoration on the block. A lot of ladies with bringing their kids around was taking pictures of the bike, and one of them took a picture of me. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe they thought I was dressed up like an old man and instead of actually being an old man. Who knows? But anyways, bike's fun. Still fun. I still love it. Haven't quite had it a year. I've only put 20,000 on it, but things are going to start picking up shortly. So let's move on to the Road Glide. This pretty bike here is a Road Glide. 2021 I picked up at the end of the year. Absolute base model with the 107 engine. I picked the 107 engine specifically because they've had no problems at all with that engine sumping. Some of the bigger ones they have, but for the most part, this thing is dead stock reliable. It's a good, solid, dependable bike. It's been around a while. It's got a well-deserved reputation for long-distance running. These things have pretty much done it all. Run the Iron Butt rallies. They've run the Hoka Hey. They've done the Key West to Dead Horse Run. There's a reason Chris Hopper picked a Road Glide when he was doing his 1,000 mile a day for 100 days run, doing 100,000 miles in 100 days. These things work. He wanted a bike he didn't have to worry about. He had enough other things to worry about. This thing has a great reputation, and this bike has not given me any troubles in the slightest. So, how'd the two compare? Well, first thing you really notice, this beast here is heavy. This thing is really heavy when you're moving them around the parking lots. When you got to back it up, go down, slide forward, any of that kind of stuff. When you're muscling this bike, you're muscling this bike. This thing is a big, heavy beast. Okay, the riding position is generally pretty good. The only exception being the heel and toe shifter. I'm probably going to do like I did to my crossbones and pull the heels portion of it off. Thing is, when it sits the way it is, you can't slide your foot back that much. You can slide it forward a little bit and get your toe underneath it, or you can put your foot up on the crash bars in the front. But as far as sliding it back, you're kind of stuck because of the heel portion of that. And I generally use my toe to upshift and downshift, so that's really not a useful thing there. So that's probably going to be going. That'll eliminate that trouble. Bike ride's fairly good, but the suspension on this is not really as good as the suspension on the Pan America and long distance riding. When you're cruising down the highways, and the sorry state of our highways start getting pretty rough, you notice it a lot more with this than you do the Pan America. Pan America, it feels like the suspension just eats that stuff up, no problem at all. This one feels a little bit rougher. Now as far as riding in the wind, even with this short little thing, you get a really good wind pocket around you. You know, you're not getting buffeted around, you're not jerking your head around, it's nice. As far as the handlebars go, they got kind of a buckhorn bent to them, and I've never really been a fan of that. I'll probably eventually get some that are a little bit more forward. I'm not going to be getting any way up in the air here. I'm going to keep them down behind the airstream, because I do ride in some awful cold weather sometimes, and having your hands down there is a little bit better. One thing I do miss is these don't have the heated grips the way the Pan America does. I kind of like those heated grips now. It's one of those things that, you know, you think is a gimmick, then you actually get out riding and use them and you find it's not a bad idea at all. One thing that did kind of surprise me about this though is when you're riding around in deep gravel parking lots, this thing here is a whole lot more stable than the Pan America was. And the only thing I can attribute that to is the low center of gravity. But other than that, it's a good solid bike. I think with some new suspension and some added grips, it'll be usable. So overall, I had to make the decision which one it's going to be. Well, I'm going to stick with the Pan Am. I think it's a lot closer to being what I need to run the Hoka Hey and to run the Iron Butt Rally. It has some stuff that needs to get done. Need to slap a better windshield on it, which has already showed up. Need to put some luggage on it, which has already showed up. I want to put a guard over that radiator because it is just terribly exposed and all the stuff from the front wheel is just aiming at it. But that's already showed up. So that's it. This is going to be my rally bike. I'm going to keep prepping it. I'll show you what I do to it. And I'm pretty sure this thing is going to be doing well for the whole thing. Road Glide, it's going to be my kind of my backup bike. If something catastrophic happens to the Pan America, that'll be my go-to. I'll swap what I need over onto that and it'll be ready to roll. Those things are a known issue. I'm not terribly worried about it. It's just a matter of putting a few things on there that I need. I mean, they come from the factory like 90% ready to go. Road Glide, that's more going to be a me and my wife kind of touring bike. You know, for the normal non-psychotic kind of stuff. Like next week we're gonna head up to Norfolk, Virginia, head over to Virginia Beach, maybe meet a few people I haven't seen in a long time that I served with, and me and her is gonna do the run to the sun, kind of roll our way down gradually to Jacksonville. That ain't too far from here. See the sights. You know, ride around like normal people, because I don't subject her to the kind of stupidity that I do. But that's about it. I'll keep you posted on this. When I start throwing on those accessories, I'll let you know what I think of them. All the accessories I'm buying out of pocket, so I'm not in a position where I have to say something good about something. But if it's good, I'll let you know. I mean, I'm hoping it's all good. I'm hoping I got nothing but great things to say. Because, like I said, I paid out of pocket. I don't want to pay out of pocket again. Well, that's it for this video. Figure I'm going to head back on in and get another cup of coffee. That's if I could get a cup of coffee with my wife's psychotic Quaker parrot guarding the coffee cup like it's some lost treasure or something. Well, all for now. Catch you later.
Uh-oh. My little coffee guard. We get some coffee.